Oh, no wonder.
I'm gonna feed your duck art to an AI last minute, and then I'm gonna bully you. I'm gonna bully you off the internet. You'll see.
You can't bully. No, I'm kicking Prime. There, I kicked Prime.
A video recently surfaced of what was alleged to be the behind-the-scenes of the Avengers Doomsday movie. Here is the problem. The footage was determined to be 100% AI. We are now entering a very dark era in modern art and entertainment. In today's video, we're going to explore why AI is being embraced, the repercussions, and where it all stems from. But first, an ad. Please hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. And if you're in the market for indie comics, please check out RoadWarriorDrake.com, where you can get copies of my 2 graphic novels, Street Champion Road Warrior Drake and Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake, in hardcover, paperback, and yes, manga versions. Yes, footage that was quote-unquote leaked that showed behind-the-scenes footage of what appeared to be Dr. Doom, Deadpool, Spider-Man, and others from the Avengers Doomsday movie had fooled a lot of people online and shocked just as many when it was revealed to be a hoax of AI. More people had seemed to be fascinated by how realistic the footage looked, but when the dust settled, real questions and concerns started being brought to the conversation. The dangers of making realistic footage is now considered a reality. Discussions are now open to embracing possible laws that can regulate AI, and by those who are short to call for an outright ban due to the Pandora's box that could open. AI was already creating concerns over art designs and styles stolen from real artists, designs that could now be replicated with a few prompts on a website.
I was shown this tweet by a gentleman. Link, click it here. Carla Ortiz, another master in the industry who designed some of our favorite heroes, including Doctor Strange, has found her own art trained by AI countless times and now fights for artist rights. Sam Young, another artist whose art was turned into an AI model against his wishes, when he was asked for it to be removed, was cyberbullied, and then they made more AI models of his work. Master Kim Jung-ji's art was fed into an AI model without his family's consent the day after he died on October 3rd this year. Greg Rakowski, a master in our field, his art was taken and trained in AI against his wishes over 93,000 times. Then he was cyberbullied by artists. It's terrifying. Greg Rakowski is the most prompted artist on Stable Diffusion.
I spoke about this when Shadversity, a popular artist and YouTuber, came out with a video in which he took his original art of Supergirl and repurposed it with AI prompts to create a whole new image, while still claiming it was his original art. This prompted questions and discussions about the ethics of claiming that an AI image made with prompts you entered can still qualify you as an artist. He justified his claim by comparing an AI-generated image to digital inking and drawing.
Making the ink bleed. So, when having access to a scanner and being able to scan my hand-drawn images onto a computer, where I could digitally...
Oh, I know what comparison he's making.
He's going to claim that, that digitally inking or drawing digitally is the same as going to an AI prompt. And that's a bad faith argument, because digital inking, you're still going from scratch. You're still relying on your your mind to hand and eye coordination is still at work when you're digitally inking.
It still requires skill. It still requires
right.
Yeah.
Because if I was to draw something that I want to fix, I could upload an image into Inkscape, which is Illustrator to most people. That's the knockoff version. And I'd have to draw out each line and manipulate it to the pencils. It doesn't just automatically fill to each line. So there's not like an AI program. It's just sitting there taking the pencils and filling it in with lots of lines for me already. There's no program that does that.
Right. It's still requiring the mind, eye, and hand coordination working together.
Yeah. It's not like it doesn't take artistic skills. You know how to run a machine, maybe. Like I made that analogy on Twitter. It's like operating an air conditioner. You know what buttons to push. That's about it.
I know what buttons to push on you, Qua.
But that's the problem.
Push him.
Which is an entirely specious argument, because again, there's still skill involved in digital art. There is no skill in simply telling an automated script what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And if you know how to color, you know how to color. If you don't, then you don't. So it's not while mediums are difficult and can pose problems, if you can color really well digitally, chances are you can also color really well traditionally. It's not that you can't ever make that medium work, because the skill is in your brain.
Yes.
You have to overcome the medium, but the skill is still in your brain. If I'm going to take a Copic marker, I'm also going to take a brush on my stylus on my iPad, and I'm going to put it in the same spot on a woman's ribs and shade the same place.
That all you gotta do now on these AI prompts is say his name, and it creates artwork similar to what he's done. And he talked about like that being theft.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember hearing about that. And you can put it in the AI filter. I've seen that too. They go make Gollum drawn by Stegman or some random artist name, and it will create images drawn in that style.
You can ironically use some of these AIs to create an Alex Ross tier painting. I'm not joking.
Oh yeah, you can. And that's because it's stolen all of what has come from people up until this point, and now it's just, a wild animal, and it will do anything, and it can take your style and do everything you want. So I don't believe, just based on principle, that someone that, anyone that says, hey, I'm putting my piece in and it'll digitally color it for me, that is any sort of skill belonging to them. That is the combined skill of 15 years of artists like myself that it's just now taken.
The ultimate question is, what happens when the human element is removed? The question of artificial intelligence and the fascination of its takeover has long been entertained. Ray Bradbury toyed with this idea in his 1962 short story, I Sing the Body Electric, in which, after a mother's passing, the children seek to build their own grandmother, each child selecting body parts, much like how entering an AI prompt helps build an image.
We're going to learn this. We're going to learn anyways, okay? We're going to all learn the consequence of this lesson anyways, whether we like it or not. It's all going to happen, because the question is, if you just have input, if you just have computer information of any sort, and you just put it out there and it looks pretty, that's art, right? The impact is art. If that's the case, if we remove the human element that makes mistakes, that's not about making things pretty, but making an impact and having morality, we're going to see what happens, because that's what robots are. Robots are just information. If they grow up and start walking around and they have no morality, and you remove the human element, what's going to happen? We're going to find out.
The idea of artificial intelligence taking over has been a subject of storytelling, mockery, and fascination. But what exactly is driving AI into such a place of prominence? With the arguments made on why it's bad for the arts, why has it progressed as far as it has, to the point where behind-the-scenes footage of a film can be faked so precisely? For one, man is obsessed with new technology. We've seen this with the advent of the iPhone or the creation of Napster back in 2000. AI also seems to encourage the thinking that it can fix things, perfect it even. This was Shad Brooks' reasoning behind using AI to, quote-unquote, perfect his hand-drawn image. But that was still up for debate.
Right.
The image on the right, I think it's arguable to say that his inferior artistic skills have measurably worsened the result of the image. Now, that takes a certain kind of skill, I think, to dumb down.
I agree with you, man. I think the left side looks better.
It's more interesting.
Yeah, I think so too, actually. It's more interesting.
The excitement and wonder certainly is fueling AI's prominence, not just in the arts, but in other facets of the global economy. A 2025 report predicts that AI's growth will exceed that of the Industrial Revolution. Of curious note is how the transition from 2024 to 2025 shows that AI is being treated more like an autonomous agent rather than a personal assistant or digital tool. The report later states, modern AI systems are gigantic artificial neural networks. Early in training, an AI won't have goals as much as reflexes. If it sees please to meet, it outputs you. By the time it has been trained to predict approximately one internet's worth of text, it will have developed sophisticated internal circuitry that encodes vast amounts of knowledge and flexibly roleplays as arbitrary authors, since that's what helps it predict text with superhuman accuracy. The comparison to James Cameron's Terminator movies with Skynet seem obvious. This is not to say that AI will become sentient, but as Jeff Goldblum stated in Jurassic Park,
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
21st century man has achieved what previous centuries of men imagined and tried to replicate, but to no avail. One such example is the Mechanical Turk from 1770, also known as the automaton chess player, an alleged robotic chess player created by Wolfgang von Kempelen. This was a human-looking machine that was exhibited throughout its 84 years by different owners, going up against human chess players, performing quite well and winning most of its games. Among his more famous opponents were Napoleon Bonaparte and Benjamin Franklin. In 1854, a fire swept across the museum where it was kept, ultimately destroying the machine. The owner's son would then reveal that the machine was a hoax, operated by an actual human inside of it to give the illusion of sentience. But this proved how fascinated the public was at the thought of machines dominating man and perfecting his flaws. One would argue that because the machine appeared to be better than the human chess players, that his dominance made it a bigger draw. The idea that man could be run by machine would drive the imagination wild, but perhaps also was the fear that machine could replace man, and the fascination was rather a cautious vigilance over its progress in the event man needed to prepare and fight back to reclaim his rightful place on the earth. We're already seeing the possibilities of man being replaced. The best examples are the kiosks at McDonald's. This most likely is only the beginning. YouTube and X are filled with videos created with AI, videos thought impossible to make at the hands of a common man. Many artists have found practical uses for AI, including help with writing and marketing. Other artists have disavowed it entirely. Whatever one's opinion of AI is, it is here to stay, and unless a mass movement funded by influential powers pushes back against it, that it disappears back into the darkness. AI will remain the battleground of the arts as well as propaganda. What are your thoughts on this? Please leave a comment below, and thank you for watching.